says age before beauty. Okay, before I start talking about my dear friend Denny, I want to tell you that I was visiting with Jim Abbott. 1990, this thing started, and I'd been the only MC. And I had to know that we were going to turn this over to people that are fantastic, and Jim Abbott thought the same thing about AD. And we come up with Corey Bray and Phil Busey, and I promise you, we couldn't have gotten two better people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I told Phil, as he was wheeling around, I like to agitate him, and I said, do you have a license to drive that thing? And he said, no, but I've had a lot of speeding tickets. He's great. Let me tell you, one of the smartest guys I know, and I'm thrilled that he's taken over this position. I am going to tell you about 2 or 3 days after Denny's death, I sat at my desk, and I have a paralegal that said, what's wrong with you? I said, I'm going to tell you the truth. This is tough for everybody that knew Denny. And I'm writing a poetic eulogy. And I remembered that he would kiss his daughters on the forehead, and maybe Cody too, for all I know, but he was known for that. And he was also known, like, what would Denny do? When he died, I'm talking to Keith, and I said, Keith, I don't know what we can do. He said, I don't know. All I'm doing is trying to make decisions on what Denny would do. I said, well, that probably goes for the players. He said it does. Many of the players just said, what would Denny do? So I wrote this because of my love for this man. Then after I read what I wrote, I think it applies to practically everybody in this room. So here it goes. A tribute to Denny Crabaughs, written by me, July the 28th, 2022. Every day at the ballpark, you could find Denny. Basketball was his passion. His responsibilities were many. This baseball legend learned from his dad, Dwayne, who taught him to play and love the game. He wore many hats like coach and teacher and mentor and counselor and sometimes preacher. When a player had a problem or didn't have a clue, a voice would tell them, what would Denny do? He was full of love and compassion. He was never a liar, but on the other side was seen when chewing an umpire. Full of faith, integrity, he was loyal and true, a man of his word. What would Denny do? This legend built his program with hard work and pride. For 34 years, he had Keith by his side. Denny and Keith, the dynamic two, now Robin without Batman. What would Denny do? To friends and players and sidekick Keith, comfort each other at this time of grief. An OCU legend who gave us much pride. Many of us were there for the 34-year ride. To his children, grandchildren, and his wife, Sue, if the world throws you a curveball, ask, what would Denny do? Kaylee, Mindy, Cody, and Amy, you will think of your dad almost daily. Instead of crying when you go to bed, think of him hugging you and kissing your head. A fierce competitor and truly a friend, and he remained that way up to the end. And it's not how did he die, but how did he live? It's not what did he gain, but what did he give? The legend we know is now at rest. In my opinion, he was best of the best. To the Crabaughs family, you are loved, and there's not anybody like Denny. And thank God we've got Robin here to take over. God bless all of you. Thank you very much.